Welcome into Extra Time. Thank you, as always, for your tweets. Ali's here, as is Gab and Robbo's dial-up internet. Robbo, let's start off with you, shall we? Harry Redknapp says he believes Spurs can win the title. Do you agree?
No, I don't think they can win the title. They're getting better. Moreno seems to have got the best out of one or two of the players. Reguilon's a good signing, I think. Hoiberg looks as though he played very well against United. Anchor that midfield. I still don't think they're quite good enough. I still think there's something not quite right at Tottenham under Mourinho. They may just about get into the top four, but they're not going to win the Premier League.
It's a little grainy. Robbo's.
No, that's just Robbo in general.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, okay, all right. So it's not.
That's just
not the internet.
That's just age. Gab, can Spurs win the league?
Not this season, no. I mean, I think the gap with the front two is just a little too big.
Ali?
No.
A lot of Spurs fans hate you, don't they?
I don't know why. Just because I told them that they are not going to win the league. Is that it?
Well, I don't know. Just in general.
What did I do to them?
Anti-Tottenham rhetoric.
What?
Would Robbo have paid Gunnersaurus salary to keep him at the club while he was at Arsenal?
No.
No. Wouldn't even pay
Is that a question, or were you asking Ali that, whether he thinks I would pay the what salary of the Gunnersaurus? I've got no time for mascots whatsoever. Ever since one, I think it was at Leeds, when I was a captain of Coventry, came over and wanted a photo. I had the photo, and as I walked away, he said, "By the way, mate, you're going bald." So I've never liked.
Yeah! Oh, give that man a medal.
Well, hey, he wasn't wrong. He was not.
No, he was. The mascot was.
Yeah, accurate.
He wasn't Einstein either.
It's still bitter. 25 years later, still angry at the Leeds mascot. What was he, Robbo? What is the Leeds mascot?
No idea. Once he said that, I wasn't interested in him at all.
No.
I might have even found it. I slid into him at some point.
It sounds like it. Gab, do Italy have many mascots? I'm thinking about it.
They've introduced them in some places. But it's a little bit of it's seen as a little bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
And not, I think most people in Italy share Robbo's views on mascots.
Germany embrace them.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the goat.
And Paul Mariner.
And Paul Mariner as well, yeah.
Not officially his name.
Well, there he is now.
But it's Paul Mariner.
Now, with the lack of signings, Ali, caused trouble for Real Madrid throughout the long season. And if yes, will they lose the league to Barcelona?
Well, even if they had signings, you look at this team right now, and man, they're predictable in the attack. They're slow and deliberate. They're still waiting to see what Eden Hazard becomes in this team, and if you keep waiting on that, I don't know that you're going to be satisfied with the answer. So yes, the answer is in a long season, not having the depth that they would want. I think if you're going to depend on Luka Jovic to come in and score a goal, that's a problem. Yeah. And that's the issue. If Karim Benzema is not scoring, where are the goals coming? Where are the goals coming from? Where is the productivity coming from Rodrigo and Vinicius, who can be dangerous but not consistent? So there's a combination of things that would tell you, this could be a problem for Real Madrid long term.
Gab is furious.
Why is he? What's the concern? What's the problem?
No. No, look, I share some of Ali's concerns about Real Madrid this season and whether they'll win the league or not. But this idea that I saw a tweet today like, it's their first time in 40 years they didn't make signings. Well, yeah, but first of all, they signed Martin Odegaard, who was only one of the best players in La Liga last season. He's a loan signing, a returning loanee, but he's still a guy who comes back and adds depth to the midfield. But more importantly, they've had all the injured guys who are coming back. Isco and Asensio, and yes, Eden Hazard will be back as well. The guys they lost are people like Borja Mayoral and Gareth Bale and James, people who never played or rarely played. So, is it a perfect squad? No, but, it's not like all of a sudden they're wanting for numbers or anything.
Yeah, Ali. Robbo, is the empty stadium?
Didn't he say he agreed with me initially?
No.
I felt like that's what he said.
You're talking nonsense.
Okay.
Robbo, is it that the empty stadium... Sorry, let me read that again. Is it the
Read it again. Read it again, Dan. Read it again. Go again.
Cut that. Right? Edit
Okay,
this
okay.
properly, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Robbo, is it the empty stadium that is causing big teams to lose with huge goal differences in the short span like never before? Barca, United, Liverpool. Who's next?
I'm not sure it's the empty stadium. I think what many teams are trying to do is copy what Bayern Munich did last season. As always happens when a team becomes the outstanding team in world football or European football, other teams try and copy them. And Liverpool, having been an excellent defensive side last year and the year before, are suddenly trying to play a high offside line. And it's not working because they're getting balls just played in behind them. Even on free kicks, they're trying to hold too high a line, and they were exposed many, many times against Aston Villa. Then you see the other option. The other worry is that a team like Manchester United don't do any defensive work. You can see they're not drilled properly, so that's not working. And you've also got the combination of teams trying to play out from the back when it's not on to play out from the back. So all of those things add up to seeing more and more goals we're seeing as time goes on.
Empty stadium, would it affect you as a player? Not as much pressure maybe on you?
Well, of course, it's a different atmosphere in the stadium. That's obvious for us to see. But I think when you consider the issues that we have seen from Manchester United or Barcelona against Bayern Munich or Liverpool against Aston Villa, it has nothing to do with the empty stadium and everything to do with the structure of the team, in particular a group like Manchester United.
Right.
Even before the red card by Martial, Manchester United were running all over the place. And that has nothing to do with whether people are watching you or not. It's just you're simply not organized. Now, with people watching you, what it does is that it does create an atmosphere and an environment in which you have certain pressure to perform. And so you don't see people walking. Right. Like perhaps you see a guy like Paul Pogba who playing with 10 men and he's just kind of prancing in the midfield. A packed stadium in a Manchester United and Old Trafford would not allow that to happen.
Right.
Because it would not be acceptable. But since there's nobody watching, we're okay, it's all right. Is this a scrimmage or something? No, it's a game, man. It counts for something. So play as such. That quite hasn't been the case for some of the teams that you just mentioned.
Gab, with top teams like Manchester City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich playing with such a high defensive line and getting caught out by a good defence and a long ball forward, will Sam Allardyce and Tony Pulis get a second wind?
Yeah, that's one way to deal with it. Sure, why not? Just whack the ball in the corners and go and let somebody chase it. Look, I'll try to answer the question seriously. This isn't the first time in history that people have played high defensive lines. They don't do it all the time. Good teams don't do it all the time. But people find ways around it. Playing a high defensive line can tire you out. You can hit a ball over the top, or you sign Thierry Henry and he does that sneaky thing where he runs along the back line and then it's a foot race. So there's always solutions, and yeah, maybe going back to the days of Sam Allardyce and Tony Pulis would work. The only problem is if you play that way against a high defensive line, all that's going to happen is you're just going to keep giving the ball back to the other team, and you'll just never get out of your own area, which might be fine.
We're not just talking about one ball. That's people just saying, it's one ball over the top. Yes, at times, every time Arsenal had the ball and David Luiz had the ball against Liverpool, the Liverpool back line should have been saying, I know it's going to go in behind for Aubameyang, but they didn't do so. And Lacazette made the runs. But there's also good play to get it into midfield, and then the next ball's behind. That's the key to defending. You've got to pick the right time to squeeze up, the right time to drop off.
Oh. Robbo has never looked better.
Oh, man.
Never looked better.
It's like,
What is the best final day signing that changed the fortune of a club? Do you want some final day signings?
Go ahead.
Luis Suarez, Ajax to Liverpool.
That's a good one.
This is a very good one. Claude Makelele, Real Madrid to Chelsea. Wayne Rooney, Everton to Manchester United.
Those are all very good ones.
They're all good ones, aren't they?
I like those.
Yeah. Gab, you got any others you'd like to add to the list?
Well, let me just consult my database.
Well, my database remember them, Gab, without Googling at all.
No, look, I think
Glenn Whelan,
there's two
Jermaine
kinds
Defoe.
of final day signings. There's the ones where people have worked on them for a long time, and they just happen at the final day because either aspects fall into place, which might have been a bit, I think, the case with Luis Suarez and Wayne Rooney. And then there's others where, you just literally manage to get it over the line at the end because you negotiate really hard, and then eventually you say, hey, screw it, let's go and get this done. So, yeah, there's all sorts of final.
Sadio Mane, Hugo Lloris,
Research. David De Gea to Real Madrid. Oh, no.
That fax machine. Okay, here we go then. This has been a story that's been rumbling on for a while. I think the whole panel was asked, out of the non-playing people, who would be the worst at taking a penalty? Gab Marcotti was voted the worst out of everyone. Gab, being the best penalty taker of the FC cast, which former player on the show would you have liked to play alongside with the most?
So you didn't quite catch the question.
Who would you like to have played with the most out of all of our cast?
You're putting me in a really, really difficult position here. I would probably have gone with Stevie Nicol because you know what? Out of everybody on the panel, Stevie Nicol is the one who I saw play when I was still a child. I saw him play in a European Cup final when I was really, really, really small. It's one of my first memories of football. I saw him miss a penalty in that final, but still. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Stevie.
And for Ali and Robbo, let's see if Robbo's connection is still working, shall we?
Are you sure?
My betting is definitely not.
Are you sure?
Which non-footballer of the FC cast would you have liked to have played alongside with the most?
Wow.
Got to be Gab, Robbo.
Well, in terms of team, I certainly won't play with Gab. All I've got in my mind is that picture of me trying to row the boat with him at the other end.
Yes.
And no help, no direction whatsoever. So it wouldn't be Gab. I'd go with Jules. I think he'd be a good midfield player. I think he'd have lots of skill. He'd be good to play 1-2s with. So, yeah, Jules.
Jules? Played lower level, didn't he, French football?
I can tell you, with knowledge, with certainty,
yes,
I have played with Sebastián Salazar.
How would that have been?
Well, you said...
Because Sebi was quite good, wasn't he? Did he play...
No, what are you talking about? No.
He tells me that he would have played championship level if he was English.
Okay, here's the thing. The question is, which one would you have had most fun with?
Who would you...
something like that, right?
No, who would you have liked to have played alongside?
Well, okay, it would have been the most fun to play with Sebi because just playing with him and the fact that he thinks he's good.
Right.
And the sort of effort and attitude and commitment that he puts into our sort of get-togethers to play.
Yeah, your pickup.
The little pickup action, it actually becomes a lot more interesting with Seb on the field.
Because of the way he is.
Okay, I have to show it. I didn't want to do it to Seb.
Right, go on
I kid you not.
Right.
I was on the field with Seb. I picked him because I knew he was going to work really hard. And then I saw him defending. 1v1 against whoever, and he started going high knees with his hands like this. And I just said, this is a guy.
I love it. Go on.
This is a guy. Although I did ask him, what are you doing, Seb? It's like, oh, I'm just,
You know he'd bring 100% commitment, Seb.
As he does in everything.
As he does to everything, most definitely.
To the point to where he's a little annoying about it. But when it comes to playing soccer and you see him high knees and with his hands out like this, then you say, yeah, that's the guy that you need on the team because he brings energy to a pickup game.
Very much so. Should we ask Robbo any more questions?
Sure. Is he still there?
Guy? Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Robbo. That is it then. That brings us to the end of the 20th century with Robbo and the end of the show. We will be back tomorrow for more. Until then, goodbye. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.